Good evening, everyone. This is the doctor. I hope all of you patients are doing okay out there. It's about midnight here in the Pacific Northwest, and I discovered some things about equipment from multiple people today that I thought should be common knowledge for everyone, and I didn't know it. And I thought I had an understanding of the equipment system, and clearly I just had no clue at all. So I spent most of my day today diving into the equipment section, trying to figure out how all of it works together, how it links, and I thought I would share some of that information with you today, because even if you think you do know the equipment system, you might not. My husband says that it's because I don't play a lot of gacha games that I don't know, and maybe he's right, but it definitely didn't seem intuitive to me, and I wanted to make sure all of you guys knew how to craft the plus equipment and what crafting a plus piece of equipment does for you. So in here on the equipment menu, if you don't know already, whenever you buy equipment, you do have to craft it. So all of these are my crafted weapons right now. I do recommend grabbing a Raz Algethi if you can from the current event, because it's an amazing piece of equipment right now and my gunner is loving it. So you'll notice though in here that none of my equipment is +1, and I don't really have any special equipment. Okay, don't look at the +1 here because I was testing earlier. But you will notice that I don't have a +2, I don't have a +3, and when I was kind of tinkering around with everything, I completely forgot that the +1 and the +2 weapons existed. And when I was streaming today, I found out that when you enhance a weapon and turn it into a +1 weapon, they get their stats or abilities that way. So those ability EXP items that you farm in the far plane can apply towards abilities on the weapons. Now, I haven't seen it in the shop yet, but I've heard, for example, there's a weapon called the Healing Staff, and the Healing Staff has Cura on it, so you could apply those ability EXP items to that Cura to level it similarly to how you would ability enhance your characters. Now, when you equip your equipment, it usually adds a passive bonus. So you can see here that the passive bonus on Iron Rod is Magic Attack 2, and this would be an Iron Rod +1. As far as I can tell, the trend is the same for all of them. Increasing your equipment to a +1, a +2, or a +3 only seems to affect this modifier down here. You can see that the stats here do not change at all. You don't get more, you don't get less. Maybe the scaling for gaining stats is a little bit different when you have the upgraded weapon type, but I haven't noticed that at all, and I'm not in deep on the upgraded weapons. Now, most of the weapons have what you would expect, so missile attack 6. They would have like missile attack on the guns here, and they usually go up in small increments. So longbow +1 is missile attack 2, longbow +2 is missile attack 3. And just for the sake of understanding what this number means, I did do some research, and I do believe that this is missile attack +3% damage. Now, I don't have the equations yet to verify this, since there's a lot of information that is out there and missing in the wilderness, but I will show you in just a little bit how I came to those numbers by looking at the different armors. Now, let's say you're wondering, well, gosh, 2% bonus damage sounds really nice, or maybe you need that 2% bonus damage on your claymore, like I was thinking, in order to start one-shotting people in PvP a little bit more. Well, in order to do that, in order to craft these, you just go over to the longbow +1, so you can't limit break awaken them, right? So if you've already been leveling up a claymore +1, you can't turn it into a claymore +2. It's just going to have to be that claymore +1. It'll tell you right here what you need, and in fact, for a longbow +1, all you need is 2 level 1 longbows. That's all you need. And from here, it'll just combine and you can make your longbow +1. So if you're out there using crafted equipment right now, you're missing out on probably a 2% extra damage if you didn't just +1 it from the beginning. This is also the reason you need multiple bow crafting recipes or multiple recipe books, in case all of you guys are like me and you're like, holy shit, why the hell do I have so many recipe books? Well, this is actually why, is because you need to craft multiple copies in order to get the +1 or the +2 version. Now, longbow +2 is in a very similar state. You need 2 longbow +1s at level 10 or higher. And so this is where it comes into needing multiple amounts of these crafting recipes, because in order to get 2 longbow +1s, you're going to need 4 of these crafting books, because you have to craft 2 longbows for each longbow +1, and then you have to level those up to 10, and then you can combine them into a longbow +2. Now, of course, similarly again, longbow +3 is going to need 2 level 20 longbow +2s. Now, you can see quickly how this is going to be exponential in terms of getting to a longbow +5 or an armor +5. That's essentially how the system works, though. Now, if you do have a special weapon like the Excalibur or any type of piece of gear from an event, I would almost say just worry about leveling it for right now. Don't worry about +1ing. I don't think you can even +1 the Excalibur. But like Icebrand, I'm just leveling. My Raz Algethi, I'm just going to be leveling. I'm going to awaken it. Same with my Lionheart replica and my Kodachi. I'm not going to go super in depth or super crazy. My Claymore, on the other hand, though, since that's a weapon that my Stern uses a lot, I am going to be working on that and upgrading that. Now that we've covered most of the weapons, I do want to talk a little bit about the armor and the different stats that they portray, because most of you are unlocking that second slot on your character right now, and you're probably wondering what piece of armor you should put on, what's going to be best in PvP, what's going to be best in PvE, and I'll give you just kind of my rough estimates right now. You can see from my Iron Plate +1, similarly to what I was talking about earlier, it does not seem to affect the base stats at all. It does have slash attack resistance, and it has resistance according to what you would think it would have. And this, I did verify, is 1% slash damage reduction. Now, how you can prove this is you go to resistance display, and you see how it raises the attack type resistance up here. This is just a flat percentage information on your character. So this is telling you that you are gaining 1% slash reduction here. So knowing this information, that's how I sort of deduced what missile attack +1 or +2 really meant. Because in these types of games, I know it was in the first Brave Exvius, some of these stats can be really ambiguous. Now, there are a couple key pieces here for armor that I'm interested in. That's the agility pieces. So you can see we're -5 out of -3. So in order to upgrade this at max upgrade, it's going to be -3 agility. It's going to add 439 HP, which is a huge chunk of HP. And it's going to add 3 defense when it's fully upgraded. Now, do I think that's worth it? That's a really tough question, because in the meta that we're currently in right now, there's a lot of casters, there's a lot of focus on one-shotting, and I almost think you're going to be better off equipping the Scholar Robe, if you can, which most jobs can right here, because you have the Spirit stat. Now, Spirit is a little bit of a rare beast right now. You don't have many stats that increase it, and you don't have many cards that increase it. Same with defense. And it's kind of ambiguous, on what the stat actually does percentage-wise for damage reduction. Same with defense. We do have an understanding that if you stack defense on Engelbert, for example, the damage that he's coming in or that he can take can be reduced to 1, which is incredible. We don't have that same understanding with Spirit, so I can't tell you that increasing your Spirit here is going to make you survive Medina's LBs more in PvP. I think you're probably still better off making sure you got the defensive on that, making sure you are prepared. What you might want to do, though, is you might want to experiment. So what I'm going to do here, if you didn't know about these hammers, you can throw a hammer on when you're enhancing it, and then you can put on let's give 1 hammer. Let's actually give 2 hammers. So this piece of gear will get to Spirit +3, And actually, you know what? I'm gonna see if I can combine these first. Let's see if it'll let me do that, just so I can show you guys on here how to do that. And I don't think it's going to let me. So that might be a piece of gear that I can't enhance, or you can't increase to +1, which is fine. So with these hammers that are from the new event, you can see that they have a direct impact to stats. So this is crazy that you can give it +3 spirit right here. I'm going to give it +1 defense. I'm going to give it some HP buff. And this is quickly going to become probably my best caster piece of gear right now that I have. And then I'm just going to enhance it. And now I don't have any of these yet, but they do increase the stat increase rate, so you might not need to awaken it to its full potential in order to get all of its stats. And look at that piece of armor right there. That's going to be beautiful. And I'm willing to bet that this spirit is actually going to enable me to survive some more attacks from either a Medina or otherwise. Alright, you guys, that's it for the end of this video. I do want to thank everyone for leaving comments and subscribing. It's been so meaningful to me right now. Like, I just love doing this. I love making these videos for you guys. It's a passion that I have, and I loved, not gonna lie, going into my YouTube analytics and just seeing all of you guys so positive and leaving such great comments. Please do remember to like and subscribe if I didn't say that again. Throw a comment down in the comments section. If there's something you want me to explore, I'm going to be exploring it. My goal coming up is to do a few more of the card videos, and if you guys want to, make sure you check me out on streaming. I usually stream once a day right now, but every day I'm streaming once or twice, and sometimes it's not always my War of the Visions content, but it can be my Final Fantasy content as well. Alright, you guys, I hope you're doing good, and I hope you have a good evening, and I'll talk to you guys all later.